Hi and welcome to video 43 guys. This one is all about sorting lists and arrays, and I'm going to apologize to you in advance guys, because I know that I will be saying things like lists and lists of lists during the course of the video. It's not easy to say and probably not easy to listen to either, but let's see how we get on guys. So the purpose of this video is to know how to sort lists into ascending or descending order. So that's relatively straightforward, but also to know how to sort lists of lists into ascending or descending order based on a particular index position, all of which will become clear guys when we start to do some of the Python demos. Now, just as a very relevant aside, sorting lists and lists of lists into some type of order has been a requirement in the past of the practical programming project assignments that have been set by OCR. Okay, so all of this is very relevant for you guys. Now, as usual, the Python Monster resources are available in the relevant Schoology folder, where you have links to the YouTube videos and the booklets, and also 2 PDF guys with details of those videos and booklets as a catalogue. Okay, so let's start off with one-dimensional arrays or lists. And how do we sort those into some type of order guys? Well, you have 2 inbuilt Python functions that you can use. One is called the sort function. It's actually a dot function, and that permanently changes the original list. So once you call that function, your original list is permanently changed into the sorted version. Right, the alternative guys, which I think is quite possibly a more popular version, is the sorted function. That one requires you to assign to a new variable the sorted list, and it leaves the original list intact guys, so you've got both versions if you want to use those in your programming. Okay, so that's all relatively straightforward, and we will see some examples of how to use those two in the Python demos. Where life gets a little bit more complicated is where we want to take a list of lists or a 2-dimensional array or table and sort those values into some type of order. So you can see on the left hand side guys, our students and their scores. All right, that's the raw data that hasn't been sorted, and you can see that one of our challenges is that not only do we have duplicate scores, but the students appear more than once, some of them, in the table. So if you can imagine that I'm missing a field with perhaps the date that student has achieved that score guys, okay, you can see why that might actually be relevant for us to have duplicate scores and duplicate students. So writing the code to make sure that the student remains associated with the right score when you want to sort them into some type of order, that's not a trivial issue at all guys. Okay, that's a very complicated piece of thinking that needs to go into the machinery to make sure that your algorithm works correctly. All right, so all of that guys is a little bit of a pain. Luckily, however, Python has an inbuilt library called operator, and in the operator library is a special function called itemgetter. Now, amongst professional Python programmers, itemgetter is very well known because it gets used quite a lot. It's the stock in trade way to sort a list of lists or a table or records into some type of order, but making sure that the associations between the different values are kept in place. So in that case guys, it would be making sure that the right student is matched up with the right score, okay, even if we've got duplicate values in there. Now, in addition guys, I've also created a function in the ivotools library. Now, I may have mentioned this to you in class. The ivotools library is a Python library which I've written with lots of useful functions in there that you can use in your day-to-day programming, and you're also able to use that in your practical programming project as well guys. And in there is a function called sortTable. And sortTable does basically the same thing. It just means that you don't have to remember that it's the operator library and the itemgetter function that you need to use guys, because we all tend to forget the names of functions and the libraries that they sit in guys. Okay, so it's very easy to use. And if you're interested guys, there is video number 6 on the Python Monster playlist, which is called Using the ivotools Library Functions, and that shows you how to use sortTable to achieve the same results if you want to use that library guys. And you can find the YouTube link in either of the video catalog PDFs in the Schoology folder. Okay guys, with all of that in mind, let's crack on and do some Python demos, and I will show you how you can sort both lists and lists of lists. Okay. Okay guys, so here we are in PyCharm, and on the screen you can see a very simple list of strings, and we're going to have a look at what we can do with our two options, our sort and our sorted functions, which we can apply to a list. Now the first one that we're going to look at is the sort function. So let's put a comment in here which says using the sort function. Okay, and the sort function, if you remember, is the one that permanently changes the list. Now I know that it's very easy, guys, to get into a bit of a muddle with this one, because actually it's a sort of one-line command, and where students get a little bit stuck typically with this is trying to wrap it into a print statement or trying to embed it into something else, and it doesn't work too well like that. So the best way to use the sort function is just a one-line command which says sort this list, and then if you want to do something like print it, then to do that in a separate command. So to show you what I mean, all I'm going to do is I'm going to do fruit list, okay, and then I want dot, because it's a dot function, and then sort. Okay, and I'm not going to do anything else, guys. I'm not going to put that in the middle of a print statement or anything else that needs evaluating. All right, I just leave it as a one-liner. Okay, so I can say one line to sort. Now after I've done that, then I can start using it. Okay, so let's put in here print the I'll print the original list, because the original list has now been permanently changed. So if I put in there print fruit list, guys, okay, and let's run that, you can see that fruit list has now become the new and improved fruit list, which is sorted in ascending order. And you can see, guys, with these strings, strings like starfruit and strawberry both start with the characters st, but Python does a pretty good job of making sure that even when you have similar characters, then it is still sorted into a meaningful alphabetical order. All right, so it works very, very well. Now you remember in the slides I said that we were going to look at sorting in ascending and descending order, and if you want to reverse the order of this, you start with the highest string down to the lowest string in order. All you need to do, guys, is to pop in here reverse, okay, equals true. All right, and that will do the same thing, but it will reverse the list. So let's run that. Okay, and now you can see, guys, the same list of items, but now it's sorted in descending order, okay, from strawberry down to apple. All right, so you've got the choice, guys, of simply leaving that out. The default is ascending order, and if you want to force ascending, sorry, the default is ascending order, guys, but if you want to force descending order, then you just put reverse equals true. Okay, so that, guys, quite simply is how to use the dot sort function. Now the other one that I mentioned, of course, was sorted, and that requires a variable assignment. So let's have a look at that one, guys. All right, so let's do using the sorted function. Okay, and what we want to do is to assign a variable, because this is the one that leaves the original list intact. Okay, so assign a variable. All right, and we are going to say new list becomes, all right, and then we just want sorted, and then in the brackets, guys, goes the item that we want to sort, okay, which is fruit list. All right, so let's pop that in there, guys. Okay, so I know that you are far more familiar with this type of format for a function than the dot functions, guys, so I know this will make sense to you. All we need to do now, guys, is to do some printing. I'm going to print the original list, which is fruit list, and I'm going to print the new list, just to show you that the original list stays intact. Okay, so let's do new list as well. So let's run that. Okay, and there you have it, guys, on the screen. You can see that the original list stays intact, and of course here is our new version, which has been assigned to our new list variable. Now likewise, guys, if you want to sort in reverse order, you have exactly the same feature available, guys. You just type in reverse equals true, okay, and that does exactly the same thing. And in fact, you'll find if you are exploring all of the different Python sorting functions that are available, guys, across all of the libraries, you will find that the reverse optional parameter, reverse equals true, is available in virtually all of those. Okay, so it's a common feature within sorting algorithms to give you the option to reverse sort. Okay, in other words, to sort from descending from highest to lowest. Okay, so let's run that, guys. Okay, and now you can see that we have gone from strawberry down to apple. So in other words, it's a descending sort. Okay, from highest down to lowest. Okay, guys, and that is it in a nutshell. The only thing you need to remember really is when you use the sort function, which is the first one that we used, is just to keep it as a one-line command. Okay, sort the list first, and then anything else you need to do with that, do that in separate lines of code. Okay, okay, so that one's relatively straightforward. Let's have a look at how we can sort lists of lists, or what you might know those as two-dimensional arrays or records, guys. Okay, so we'll do that in the next demo. Okay, guys, so in this demo you can see on the screen we have a list of lists. So each of the students and their related scores sits inside its own list, and then those collections of students and scores sit inside a bigger parent list, which we refer to as scores. Okay, now you can also, of course, view what you're looking at on the screen as a two-dimensional array. You could also picture it as a table, and in fact it might also be an extract from a spreadsheet or a database table, in which case we would say that it's part of student records, where we have details about the student and what score they got. Okay, so lots of different ways that you can picture what it is that you're looking at on the screen. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, the prospect of sorting our table into some type of order is not trivial, guys, at all. Okay, we might want the liberty of being able to sort the table in alphabetical order of student name, in which case all of the corresponding scores have got to match when we do that sort. Alternatively, of course, we might want to sort our table based on student scores, in which case when we sort the student scores into order, all of the corresponding students need to match with those scores as well. So you can imagine the undertaking to program something like that is not trivial at all. Now luckily, as I said earlier, we have a special function called called itemgetter, which sits inside the operator library. Okay, and to use that, it's actually a very similar syntax to what you've seen before in the previous demo where we used the sorted function. All right, so the first thing that I need to do is to give myself a variable name. So let's call it a sorted table. Okay, because that's what it will be. And then we want to say equals sorted, just like you saw earlier, guys. All right, so sorted, and then we need to put stuff in the brackets. Now, just as with the one-dimensional array or with a list, we put in the name of the data that we want to sort, which of course is scores, and then we need to put in this magic reference to key, and we say key equals and then item getter. Okay, and then in the brackets, guys, we want to put the index of the data that we want to sort by. So let's imagine to start with that we want to sort our students and scores in ascending order of scores. Okay, now the scores sit here in index value 1. Okay, and at index value 0 we have the students' names. Okay, so we've got a choice really, guys. We've only got 2 indexes to play with. We can either sort on index 0, which is the student names, or we can sort on index 1, which is their scores. So to start with, guys, let's sort the data based on their scores. Okay, so in here I need to put 1, which is the index where the scores are found, and then I can leave it as it is, or I could do what you've seen before in the previous demo, which is I could put reverse equals true, and that will give me the scores from the highest to the lowest. Okay, and then all I need to do, guys, is I need to print, okay, the contents of the new variable, which is sorted table. Okay, so let's run that and see what we get. Okay, and if I just move that over, you can see, guys, that sorting on the scores does indeed give me the student names in order of the scores that they achieved. So that's Sophie with 92, Jackie with 88, and Fred with 84. In fact, for me to make it a little easier for you to say, let's just take that out and let's just do a simple iteration. So for students, okay, in sorted table, okay, and let's print students, okay, because that will print down the screen. It'll be a little bit easier for you to see then. Okay, So let's run that, guys. There we go. That's a bit easier, isn't it? So now you can make a comparison between the two. All right, so you can see how well that works. Now, as I said earlier, guys, we could also sort on the string part of those lists, which is the student names. So we could sort by alphabetical order of student names, and the easiest way to do that, guys, is just to change the index from 1 to 0, which is where we find the student names. So let's do it again this time. Okay, and this time, guys, you can see, of course, that we have the ordering done on the basis of the string, which is the student name. So Sophie appears at the top with Peter, Jane, Jackie and Fred. So it works really, really well, guys. The only complication, of course, is that you have to remember not only where to find the function and in which library that's found, but of course you also have to remember the syntax as well. All right, and typically what will happen is that in a few months' time, guys, just like me, you probably be thinking, now where was that function and how do I use it? Okay, so in the next demo, guys, I'm going to show you the ivotools version, which I've written for you, which is a little easier to use, and certainly it means that if you just simply import ivotools, you won't need to remember this. Okay, and this syntax is just made a little bit easier for you. Okay, so we'll have a look at that in the next demo. Okay, guys, so what I've done is I've taken a copy of ivotools.py, which is the library, and I've copied it into the folder where I'm writing the programs, okay, for these demos. And you would need to do something likewise if you wanted to make use of all of the useful functions that you have available to you in ivotools. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this because I don't need this anymore, and I'm going to say from ivotools, okay, and then we want to import the relevant function. And it's really easy to remember, guys, because it's the only function in the ivotools library which starts with the phrase sort. Okay, so nice and easy to remember, guys. So I'm going to import the sortTable function from ivotools. Okay, so all I need to do now is to change this to match with the ivotools version. Okay, so sorted table equals, and then we want sort. Okay, so we want sortTable, and then we want scores just as we did before, but we don't have to remember the key equals itemgetter anymore, guys. You just pop in the index value, okay, of the table that you want to sort by. Okay, and you can leave this in or you can take it out, guys. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so using this format, guys, okay, all you need to do is to remember the syntax, which is the data, the index value, and whether you want to do an ascending or descending sort. Okay, and I'll leave this bit the same, and let's just run that. Okay, and you can see, as you would hope, you get exactly the same results, but you're using just an easier to remember place to get access to the item getter. You don't have to remember the syntax anymore, and you just makes life a little bit easier. If I pop in there, guys, a 0, okay, it will of course sort by student name, which is what you saw earlier. And guys, if you put something in there where you're making a mistake with the index value, then it won't crash. It'll simply come back with a little error message and tell you where you might have made a mistake. Okay, so it's very, very easy to use, guys, as an alternative to item getter and the operator and item getter features of Python. Okay, guys, so that brings me to the end of the demos and the end of the video for sorting lists and arrays, and I hope you found that useful, and I will see you in the next video.